Would you help us, God, to see the Jezebel in us, oh dear? Would you help us, oh God, to see the Jezebelic tendencies, those thought processes that have been influenced by a demonic spirit? Would you help us, Lord, to see those ways in us? Like Hosea said, examine your ways. Oh God, would you help us today to examine our ways? We don't want to be like Jezebel. We don't want to be like Ahab. We don't want to be like Absalom. We don't want to be like these nefarious characters in your word that wreaked havoc on your people, God. So Jesus, today, would you help us to repent? Would you help us to turn from our wicked ways, the ways of the world, the ways of the spirits that are not like you, the demon powers that are not like you? God, we don't want to be witchcraft releasers. We want to be glory releasers. So help us to see the Jezebel in us. Help us to see the Judas in us. Help us to see those tendencies of our flesh which are pulled and pricked and prodded and perverted by spirits that want us to get on the wrong side of the word, that want us to stand on the wrong side of God, that want us to combat heaven itself instead of the demons in the second heaven. Oh Jesus, would you help us to get the Jezebel out of us? Would you help us, Lord, to get the Delilahs out of us, oh God? Would you help us, God? Would you help us to get the Sauls out of us? Oh come on, oh come on, oh come on. Don't act all high and righteous and mighty and pious on me right now. Oh Jesus, there's no good thing in our flesh. I said there's no good thing in our flesh. There's no good thing in our flesh. There's no good thing in our flesh. But Christ in us, the deliverer, will deliver us from this body of death. Christ in us, this deliverer, will deliver us from this evil tendency. Christ in us, the deliverer, will deal with things that are in us that we've never seen before. So we say, yes, God, deliver us from evil. Yes, God, show us where we've agreed with the devil. Yes, God, show us where our minds are unrenewed to your word and there's darkness enveloping our lives. Oh, Jesus, help us, Lord, to break all ties, all soul ties, all ties of agreement, all ties with demon powers, all ties with wrong voices, all ties with spirits of error, all ties with abominations, all ties. Oh God, help us to break all ties. By your Spirit, oh God, help us to break all ties with evil, all ties with the things that you hate, all ties. Help us to break all ties so that you can break the bonds. Oh Jesus, we've got to do our part. We've got to do our part. We've got to do our part. We've got to renounce it. We've got to renounce it. We've got to renounce it. Don't you see? You can't walk with someone unless you've agreed. Oh Jesus, if we've agreed with the devil, if we're walking with the devil, if we're walking like the devil, would you help us, Jesus, that we might break out of agreement, break through of our wrong thought processes and see the light. Jesus, help us see the light. We don't want to walk in a bondage. We don't want to walk with fetters wrapped around us, with chains around our ankles. Oh God, we don't want to walk like the world walks. We don't want to talk like the world talks. We don't want to think like the world thinks, and we certainly don't want to walk like demons walk. Roaming around, looking for someone to devour, looking for the competition, looking for some gossip, looking for some juicy gossip. Oh Jesus, would you help us to stop acting like our adversary, the devil? Jesus, help us to break all ties. Help us to break all agreement. Help us to break out of this deception that we found ourselves in. Oh Jesus, I don't know who I'm talking to. Someone's getting offended. Would you help us, God, to break free from offense, because it is the bait of Satan. Would you help us, Lord, to break free from apathy, that we just don't care about anything or anyone but ourselves. Oh Jesus, would you help us break out of complacency? Would you help us break out of lukewarmness? Was that more acceptable to you today if I make it about behaviors rather than demons that are binding you? Does that make it easier for you to swallow today if I make it about the fruit of the demonic powers that are enslaving you? Does that make it a little better? Okay, we'll do that. Father, would you help us break free from the fear? Would you help us break free from the apathy. Would you help us break out, Lord, of the depression? Would you help us to break out, Lord, of the anxiety? Would you help us to break out, Lord, of the bitterness? Would you help us to break out, Lord, of the unforgiveness? Would you help us to break out, Lord, of the resentment? Would you help us to break out, Lord, of the jealousy? Would you help us to break free, Lord, from the envy? Would you help us to break free, Lord, from the anger? Would you help us to break free, Lord, from the scorning? Jesus, you are the freedom bringer. You are the deliverer, God. Jesus, help us, Lord, to break free from the agreement with the things that cause the bondage in our hearts, in our lives, in our minds, in our emotions. Oh, Jesus.